You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
TalksHonest. TalksHonest. Hello and welcome. You are tuned into iLive Radio UK, changing the way you listen to radio. I'm your host, Miss Law, and this is a platform and an opportunity for you to discuss topics never spoken but often thought of. You can connect with us by contacting us on 0208 638 8503 or all the W's uk.iliveradio.com.
What if we spoke honestly? 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 What if we spoke honestly?
Like to touch on a subject which is going to be quite an emotional one. This young lady has been a victim of gun crime. I'd like to welcome Mrs. Keith.
Hi there. Good afternoon.
Right. This is going to be quite an emotional show today. I'm just letting everyone know that for a number of reasons, which will unfold as and when we talk. Now, Mrs. Keith, it's going to be a bit awkward for me to call you Mrs. Keith. It's not rolling off my tongue.
I struggle with it sometimes myself.
So, if I stumble, bear with me.
Okay, no worries.
I'd like you to give us a bit of background information about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Narinda Keith, and the reason why it doesn't roll off is because I'm recently married. My lovely husband Darren Keith should be listening. I'm a mother of two now. I've got a son, he's 5, nearly 5, and a daughter, she's 3. I've always lived in North London, have quite a big family. My career stems from retail to PA to office manager. I'm now training to be a paralegal. That's a bit of background on me. I love to go out. I was a bit of a raver. Still am a little bit when I can, but obviously with having children, it's not as easy. Love my music. Love my family. Love my friends. Love having a good time. Love holidays. So, that's a bit about me.
Oh,
love organising.
I like organising. Oh, just put that in there. So, I want to take you back.
Okay.
I want to take you back to the 31st of December, 2006.
Okay.
And I want you to just walk us through your journey, that experience, that situation. I may interject from time to time, just to get a bit more information, okay? But just cast your mind back to the 31st of December 2006 and how the day started and where it went.
Okay. I was at my nan and granddad's house. I can't remember the day as such. I remember the evening. I had really bad stomach cramps and I was in bed, and I was quite happy in bed. I didn't feel to go out, and my sister came in all excited, said, "Come on, let's go out, it's New Year." And I'll be honest, I wasn't really feeling it, but I thought, you know what, let me just get some clothes on. I threw on what I had. I remember I put on some new brown boots that I bought, and you'll hear about that more later. And I got ready to go out. So obviously New Year's Eve, I was out with close friends, in a venue in North London. I knew well, but I didn't know it well for putting on big events.
Okay.
And the general feeling of the night on arrival was very busy, but I felt really disconnected.
Okay. So was it planned for you to go there, or was it just a spontaneous thing? Oh, like let's look for somewhere to go, and just ended up there?
I believe it probably was planned. Do you know what? It's such a long time ago. I can't
understand.
We knew there was an event going on,
right?
And there was quite a few of us actually planning on going, because when I got there, a few of my friends were already there. But yeah, planned or not planned.
The rest is history.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I felt really disconnected when I got in there. It was like, like an out of body experience where you're in there, but I felt like a ghost almost. I felt like people were pushing past me and not seeing that I was there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really weird feeling. I felt invisible.
Do you feel that it's just because you didn't want to be there?
Part of me feels like that. Yeah, I think because for me, I'm the kind of person, if I don't feel to go out, I'm not going to go out just because everyone else. Same if I want to leave a place, I will leave.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay because everybody else wants to. So I definitely didn't want to be there, but I was trying to
make an effort because of your friends were there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it felt like a packed train station. It was like really hard to relax and have fun. And I did try and change my mindset. I believe I went to the bar, tried to get a drink.
Okay.
And not long after, I got a message from a friend, and it really perked me up. And I thought, you know what? It's New Year's. I'm going to go in with a better head into the new year, and I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
And I was finally having fun. And then I noticed the atmosphere change.
In what way?
There was a lot of like to-ing and from it. Like, you know when you're in a club and it's like traffic jam. Everyone's trying to get to one place, but they don't really know where they're going.
Okay.
There was a lot of kind of pushing. I remember us being in the back area of the club, and I was quite comfortable there. I was quite happy in the back. Didn't have to socialise with anyone but my friends.
Okay.
And then everyone started. The people I was with started to rush towards the middle of the dance floor. And it wasn't even like there was a good tune on, so I wasn't really I didn't really understand why
what was happening.
Running. So I sensed there was an argument.
Okay.
And I remember seeing a guy I knew. I wouldn't say I know him as like a friend, a good friend, but I knew him. And I remember pulling him away from this situation.
Okay.
And I'm shaking now as I'm saying this.
Which is understandable. Just take your time.
And not long after I pulled him away, I think we might have had a small conversation about what's going on.
Yeah. Still
unaware of what was going on. I heard pat pat, and everyone's probably thinking, what? And I was like, that is what it sounded like to me. Pat pat.
Okay.
And I heard it in the distance, but then it was like an inner voice, or like my brain was telling me, your leg feels funny.
Okay.
Go to the floor.
Oh, okay.
And it always felt like a movie. When I explain it to people, I can't. It's just my inner voice said something's wrong. Go to the floor.
Right.
And it was all in slow motion. In my head, it was all really slow, and then when I hit the floor, everything then sped up again.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. So just take your time.
Everything sped up again, and I'm going to explain my personal feelings of it now.
Of course. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, so that's in a nutshell. I was on the floor, and I just had like a whirlwind of emotion. I felt a bit claustrophobic.
Okay.
There was a guy that rushed over, took off his t-shirt, put it around my leg.
So just to cut you, where were you shot?
I was shot in my left leg, in my tibia.
Okay.
Thankfully, the bullet went in and out. It wasn't lodged in my leg, which the paramedics had said was better for my recovery. But yeah, so it went right through my leg. So the guy, he wrapped took his t-shirt off, wrapped it around my leg, and said, "It's all right, love. You've just been shot in your leg."
Okay. Just been shot in my leg.
It's like one of those, those crime television programs that you watch where it's just like, and was it? There's a program on now not long ago, Top Boy.
Okay.
I found that really emotional to watch.
Right.
Just because people are getting shot, it's like, just shoot him in his leg. It's all right, he'll survive that.
Yes, I do recall the scene.
And the screaming in the show as well.
Okay.
So hearing screaming in the hospital, or just loud
noises.
Loud noises
affected you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much so. So he wrapped around my leg. Then a girl came over. I was trying to give me mouth to mouth. I was like unconscious. I don't know if she wanted to kiss me or not. I mean, I always say this. It's just like, it was a bit of a comedy going on.
Okay.
While I was lying there. And I had a bit to drink as well, so it was probably the alcohol was still in and not really understand what was going on. I don't really feel like I felt pain. I felt like I had dead leg. The pain didn't sink in yet.
So at the point when you fell to the ground, did you actually realise you had been shot?
No, it's when the guy said, "It's all right, love. You've been shot in your leg."
Okay.
All I knew is that I felt funny and I had to go to the floor. But if someone had to tell me that I don't even believe I really looked, because I had knee boots on.
Right.
So the knee boots might have saved me. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah.
So did the bullet go through your boots, or did it?
No. So
is it just above?
When I say knee boots, like just over your calf almost.
Okay.
So it probably just maybe missed it.
Okay.
I never got my boots back, so I don't even know what happened. I was actually quite upset as well. I said to the police, "Can I have my boots back?" She looked at me shocked, like, "You're never going to get them back, and you probably don't want to see them again." But in my mind, I was like, "These are my brand new boots."
You obviously didn't register what was happening to you, did you?
Yeah. So, and when I'm laughing about this, it's your
way, your coping mechanism.
My way of coping. I make jokes about things, and it helps me to cope. Yeah. So I think my sister came over, my friend.
Okay.
And I remember giving my phone to my sister or my friend, one of the two. Sorry, girls, if you're listening. I know that you were both there and you know who you are. I gave them my phone and I was like, make some phone calls. My sister was distraught, as you can imagine. Yeah. Friends were crying, and I think the paramedics may have come in not long after that and gave me a shot of morphine.
Okay.
And that's when everything was all a bit hazy, and I think I did still make jokes with the bouncer in there. I think I must have said a joke to him. I remember singing Oxide and Neutrino in the ambulance. And you guys know the song Reload.
Yes.
And rhyming my name. They asked me my name and I'm like, N-A-R-I-N-D-A. And I was like, I feel like I'm in Holby City, and there was all these things going around. But again, it could be the morphine. Or
yes, indeed. Possibly.
Yeah, possibly the morphine.
And the alcohol.
I think got to the hospital.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of this is hazy. It's like in and out of consciousness, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And then I just kept seeing family and friends kind of just over me.
Okay.
One by one, people were just coming over and saying hi, and then I'd cry. Then I'd laugh, then I'd cry.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how many people were in the hospital. But I knew that I'd seen a lot of faces, and I appreciate it now how many people came that night to see me. So
there were a lot of people.
Yeah. A lot. And maybe some that I forgot that were there. So but it was really, really nice that I had that much support.
Yeah.
So the morphine wore off and reality kicked in.
Yes.
And I was faced with distraught friends and family.
So, sorry to cut
that's
you.
Okay.
So at that point when that morphine had worn off, yes, the gentleman told you had been shot in the club. Now you're faced with doctors and nurses. And that's the realisation where they are going to express to you what's occurred.
Yeah.
How did that feel, and what did they say to you?
if you can remember?
Yeah, so I remember waking up in the hospital bed. A friend of mine was by my bedside, and she looked at me, she goes, "You still got blood on your face. Why has no one cleaned you up?" And they weren't very nice to me, if I'm honest.
That when you say that they weren't very nice, you referred to the hospital staff?
The hospital staff.
Okay.
I almost felt like I was the criminal.
Okay, that's interesting to hear.
So it was ladies' time for me, and they should have
Been a bit
provided stuff.
Yes.
And didn't.
Okay.
And yeah, I was just kind of left, and not really kind of cared for how I
expected.
I don't know what my expectations were, but I definitely didn't feel comfortable, and I couldn't wait to get out of there. I was happy that friends and family were visiting.
Okay.
I don't believe I was in the hospital that long, and I remember the physio lady saying you need to drink as much as you can and show that you're able to get out of there, to move and get out of there.
Okay.
And I did exactly that. I did as much as I could to get out. Yeah. And it's always easier when you've got friends and family bringing you amazing food.
Spoilt rotten, right?
Always spoilt rotten by my grandparents, I must admit. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I think I've kind of digressed off of where
That's
I was
okay.
saying.
That's fine. It's understandable.
But yeah, I didn't feel like I had the best care, and I was quite happy to get out of there.
Yeah. So when you say you didn't feel cared for by the hospital, did you ever ask the question? Did you feel I just want to get out of here? Did you feel like you need to report anything? Because this is about support.
Yeah.
A major incident's just occurred. You're now a victim of something. Do you think that they may have judged you or stereotyped you for any possible reason?
I do believe so now. And I didn't have much thought of it at the time. It was because I wasn't actually the person that got directly shot at. The bullet ricocheted and hit me.
Okay.
There was a young guy, probably similar age to me, that the shots he was fired at. Okay. And my mind, being the person that I am, was more worried about him.
Yeah.
And what he's going through. And my story felt like the backstory of I just want to recover. Yeah. And forget about what's happened. And if the young guy needed me, I remember contacting him on Facebook. Because we didn't know each other, but we were from the same area, and that was another thing. The police assumed because we were from the same area that we knew each other, and we were all linked to this. Okay. And it wasn't the case. I didn't know him. People around me knew who he was. Okay. But I didn't actually know him. Mm-hmm. So that was quite difficult to kind of process. And it wasn't about me. I didn't feel I needed to report. I didn't see who'd done it. I just know that I got shot and I want to recover. That was it. So at no point you felt bitter or twisted by the situation, or did you just not realise, it didn't, you were just dealing with what you had to deal with and didn't really think on that level? No, do you know, it was like an awakening. I've gone through quite a few things previous to being shot that I didn't deal with as a child. And it felt like my second chance to live. Okay. I didn't see it as negative. Okay. And maybe people would have thought I would have, but I just wanted to be like, right, well, I've been given a second chance. Yeah. Because this young boy could never play American football again. Yeah. After this incident. And that was making me more determined to use the money that I had when I used to go clubbing to go use it on physio. Like, why am I waiting for the NHS? Let me just try and use that to walk again. I want to walk properly again. I want to dance again. Yeah. I remember watching Strictly Come Dancing. I used to love watching it as a child, and watching people go, well, if they can learn how to dance in like 6 weeks, I can learn how to walk. And and maybe
Which is positive.
Yeah. And I did use it, and I had a really good network. I was living with my grandparents at the time, and as I said, good food, good loving, they were always there. I had a cup of tea in the morning, most mornings my granddad would bring me, and I was never short of food. So I had the right things to get me back on track. And my young cousins, aunts, uncles, everyone would visit. We'd still mess around and have fun, even though I was on my crutches. I'd probably give my nan a heart attack. I'd be trying to dance. Look what I can do with my crutches. And she'd be like, I think the hard thing was to, I couldn't wash myself. And having like my nan or my mum or my aunt washing me. There's things like that you almost take for granted. I remember going to, where did we go? To Tottenham, to a stationery place, and I was sitting in the car. And most people that saw me goes, oh, you had a sporting injury. And I'll just be like, yeah, I did. And I remember bursting out into tears. Like, if it was my first day out, she said, come to the shops with me. And I went to the shops and I cried, and people take for granted that they can walk. And I was so upset. And again, it's the determination kicked in. Like, I'm going to walk again. I remember one the leg that actually happened on, it was almost like non-existent. I had like a strong leg with muscles, and the other leg was just floppy, and I was looking at myself going, I'm already skinny. Like, what?
Don't need that extra muscle waste.
So it was a lot of determination. I felt like I had a second wind in life to kind of do better. And that's what I took out of the experience.
Okay, which is very positive, because people have a different outlook on situations like that. I'm a victim. They play on that sometimes, not because they want people to feel sorry for it. It's just the place that they're in. And then you've got other people who take the positive out and then say, well, I've got second chance. So they're both in their right, and it's okay to feel that it's a negative or a positive, because it's only the person who's experiencing that knows how they actually feel. People can tell you how to feel, but how you genuinely feel inside, no one feels that.
And it's a roller coaster. It is a roller coaster. As I said, I'm saying that now. I felt positive, and I was going to go on the road to recovery. It was an easy road of recovery. And unfortunately, I still have some health issues because of it. And emotionally, psychologically, there's a lot of things that have impacted. Since the incident.
Would you like to elaborate on those?
Should I go with the physical?
It's entirely up. Well, yeah, you can go with the physical.
So as I've said, physical, spent money on trying to fix. And I remember thinking, gosh, people taking things for granted.
When you say people taking things for granted, I want you to just explain that, because I know what you mean by what you're saying.
I'm not trying to be mean.
I want people to understand your meaning behind that.
Well, life is precious. And even though things happen to you, it happens to the people around you, because they're having to deal with it as much as you are. So it is taking what you're given as when you're born for granted. Whether it be sight, hearing, all these things that some children don't have at birth and have to struggle through, and parents have to struggle through. Accidents like mine, where they have lost something from an accident and now have to recover. So it's not taking what you have for granted and really appreciating the life that you're given. Appreciate your family, your friends, even strangers. I'm one of those people that will talk to someone randomly at a bus stop, a train station. If someone reaches out, I'm that person, and I might sometimes misjudge their kindness, because I feel like I am quite gut when I think, well, because I'm kind, so they're kind.
Judging people by your own standards.
Yes, and that's not always the case, and I have had to learn along the way with that. But to anyone that is listening, do what makes you happy, but also think about the people that are around you that love you too. And that's kind of what I mean by, you know, taking life for granted.
Do you want to touch on the mental side of things, the status, your mental status since the incident occurred?
So I did digress about, because I was going to say more about physical.
No, by all means, go back to the physical. No, there's more that you want to discuss. That's fine.
Yeah, it was just that I've had numerous operations over the years, so it wasn't just one operation. I had an operation. The scar was quite bad, and then I had a skin allergy or reaction that caused me to go into hospital several times after that. I've now developed a nut allergy. I'm not sure where that's come from, whether it's that, but I only had that after the incident. And I'm still suffering from skin problems now, which is quite tough to deal with, because you go to the doctors and they give you antibiotics and they give you a cream and it doesn't work, and then you try holistic and you're trying all these things not really knowing what it is.
The end result's going to be.
And whether it's going to make it work. Right? It is trial and error, and it's really difficult because I deal with that by myself, really. I go to the doctor and stuff, but not everybody knows that I still have issues with my skin. Or, luckily, fingers crossed, before I had my first child, I had an operation. It went very well, and I haven't had to worry about my legs since. But that took a couple of years before.
So I'm going to digress again. You said you went for a number of operations, or you had a number of operations. Now, this incident happened in 2006.
Yeah.
Can you just take me through this journey with regards to having operations? The reason why I'm asking this question is because an incident occurs. People have a tendency to think, oh, you got shot. Okay, yeah, it's done and dusted. It's over.
Yeah.
Okay. Get over it. Yeah, that kind of mentality. Or, okay, yeah, it's forgotten. The incident's occurred. They've seen you after. You're alive and kicking.
Fine.
She looks fine. Now, please take us through that journey with regards to your operations.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact, it didn't just end once you came out of hospital.
No. So the first op, obviously, from the incident, I had that, and then it was a year later, actually. I remember sitting with my nan at the time saying I need to seek help, and for mentally, but then I was also having to go through another operation because my skin was bad, and I think that also caused problem because I had eczema. Or some
reaction.
Reactions. I had it on my back. I had really bad scarring on my back all of a sudden. And my leg, it looked like something from The Walking Dead. I can't even explain, but it was not nice to look at. And, I'm a young girl still. I still want to go out and have fun with my friends. I'm having to hide it. And having to put plasters on it. And it was just growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
And then that's when I went for the second op.
Okay.
And to see if they could see what was in that. So I think they scraped the bone to check to see if anything was on the bone, some remnants from the bullet. They did that, and then that was done, and I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Then it was 2014. So yeah, just before I'd found out I was pregnant with my son.
Wow.
I had another op. So it was a couple of months before. Yeah, I had another op.
So and on the third operation.
And just to make it, I met my husband now in 2012. So he didn't really, and he still doesn't know as much information. He didn't really know what happened to any detail. I met him and that was in my past. I wasn't going to bring it up unless he knows it happened, but not the details of it. Yeah. And he came to hospital. I think he came to hospital with me.
Okay.
I was in there for a couple of days, had this operation, and it was successful, and I was relieved.
Okay.
Because I was, especially me then finding out I was pregnant and having those issues during pregnancy.
Yeah, wouldn't have been nice.
Wouldn't have been nice. Pregnancy's not easy anyway, as most mums know, depending on how many you've had, or just even if you've had one.
Yes, indeed.
And it's every pregnancy is different. So it was nice to go into pregnancy, and I had a lot of energy and I felt good.
Okay.
I think I even went out clubbing once being pregnant. Don't judge me, people. But yeah,
Living your life, your best life, right?
yeah. Like safely, I went out with my friend, but I really enjoyed the pregnancy, and I felt healthy and I felt fit, and it was nice. I enjoyed being pregnant.
Oh, that's nice.
Actually. So yeah.
I'm just going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Special guest here today, Mrs. Keith of Misguided. Ooh, Misguided. I'm talking about clothing now. Okay, let's say Miss K Organize. This young lady has been a victim of gun crime, and if you're just tuning in, we were just going through the whole journey since she was a victim on the 31st of December 2006. So I'm going to allow Mrs. Keith to continue discussing and talking about the mental status for her now, and touch on how she felt during that journey.
So mentally, this is a tough one for me, just because I still do suffer mentally now, and not because of the incident necessarily, but just the impact it had on my life and how it changed it. I now suffer from anxiety, and mentally it was quite difficult to go back out again and be the Narinda that everybody knows me to be. If I explain, I was pretty much at most times the life and soul of the party. I was the one that got the tickets for the raves. I was the one that organised everything, the holidays. I was the organiser, the one that planned everything. Hence why I'm now Mrs. K Organised. So it was tough. And some of my darkest moments were in my head. And to everyone around me, I was coping well. I was smiling. I was doing everything. But I was struggling in my head with relationships around me, with building new relationships. And I did find it easier to talk to strangers a lot. And not all these people had my best interests at heart. But it was something I had to learn for myself. And I couldn't really differentiate the
good from the bad.
Yeah, the wolf in sheep's clothing, that kind of, and I even lost people close at times. And maybe it's because I was trying to figure out what was going on in my head, which was pushing them away, or maybe it just wasn't they say like reason, season and lifetime. Mm-hmm. And that's how that's how it felt for me. And I kind of used that as well. I was like, well, they were there for a reason and made me happy. Maybe it's our time. But I still find it difficult to let go of relationships that I've built over years. For whatever reason, it's difficult.
Okay.
Building new relationships, I found easier because I could just be myself and they didn't really know.
Because they didn't know. They didn't have any history on you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I just think what helped me a lot. I'm pausing.
That's okay. That's not a problem. Take your time.
I started writing a diary and poetry. And there was a gentleman that his name was John. I remember him very well. And I remember I was reading Martina Cole books a lot. And if anyone knows what Martina Cole books are about, it's this life of crime, East London, pretty much based, stuff that is quite hard to take in. And I couldn't read those books anymore.
When you were reading those books, were you trying to find yourself within those books? Because you were a victim of crime. Do you feel that's why you were attracted to reading those kind of books?
I read those books before I got shot.
Okay, all right.
And I was just interested. It was quite interesting.
Okay.
Reads. I didn't really think much into it. Same when I used to go clubbing and because these incidents do happen. They did happen before me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was that person in the club. I'll be honest, that something would happen. I'd stand back for a bit, wait for it to finish,
and you'll be out.
And if the DJ put the music back on, I'm right back in there. And it's and that's the reality of it. Most of us, we want to go out and have a good time, and it's inconvenience when an incident happens in a club.
Yeah,
you want to go out. So my mindset changed with that. So going out now, I got panic attacks going out. I couldn't be in the places that I was in before, places like Carnival and places that I loved. And
so the crowds.
And so it's like groups of black guys together huddled around that scared me, or loud noises.
Oh wow.
People arguing. I remember a glass smash in a club, and I was in Enfield, well away from any. It was, a proper quiet club, not club, pub. And that's the thing. I did revert to going into pubs and stuff rather than clubs and
so
bars.
You kind of changed what you did.
Yeah,
as a result of this incident occurring.
Yeah, I started to go out in Harlow. I've been out in Harlow before. So. I wanted to still have fun, but I just changed the places that I went to, and often. A couple of times I had to stop in the club. I'd go in the bathroom. I'd have a really bad panic attack, and I couldn't continue the night. and I'd always I felt like bodyguards. My friends were very much like just circled me in places, and I wanted to be near the exit. And before this incident, I was right in the middle of the dance floor with all the new dance moves. And now I wanted to be as close to the exit as I could, just in case something happened. And I still do that now. Yeah, I don't want to be in the crowd.
So when you say you have anxiety,
Yeah.
have you analysed that you have the anxiety, or has that been confirmed that you're having anxiety attacks and so on?
It was confirmed. So I'll touch on it briefly. I've always had a bit of OCD where I like things in its place. And I would always say, and I would always blame, I've got OCD. But obviously seeking help, I have had therapy. I had therapy in 2008. And it was required for me. I went to therapy, and I've sought medical advice for the anxiety, and it has been confirmed that I do suffer from severe anxiety. So it's not something I just throw out there.
Yes. I just wanted people to understand.
Yeah.
It's not something because something's occurred.
Yeah.
This incident has occurred. You haven't given yourself this label.
Yeah.
It has been confirmed as a result of what's happened.
Yes.
This has been put upon you.
And it comes in waves. I'm not saying that every day I'm anxious. But there are moments where, and my husband will confirm this, I cannot relay what's going on in my head.
Okay.
And then I go very quiet.
Okay.
And it looks like I'm vexed with someone, or someone's done me something. Nothing's happened.
You're just going into
I just go within myself, and what helps me, which I'll go into later, is the organising and cleaning, and the feeling like I've made a difference, whether it's in the home or someone else, to kind of release that energy
that's
taken over.
Right.
A good friend of mine that I believe is listening, I won't mention names, she recommended like a diary that I write in. Okay. And that's very recently, actually, a diary that I write in on my phone, that whenever I get to that point where I can't explain it, write it down.
Okay. Excellent.
And that's helped.
Yeah, that would, because you can go back and reflect on that.
Yeah. Colouring in, which my aunt used to do with me when we were kids. I still do it, and I did it before I got shot, when we used to go on the plane.
Yes.
My children are very much into colouring, so I know all the therapeutic outlets, to all the things to do when I get to that state, but it's what I choose at the time, and it depends. I'll do a puzzle sometimes.
So you've got options.
I've got options, which is good, but sometimes those things, it's not the one. And I end up talking to people, and you know what's so lovely about me doing my business now, is meeting other people that have anxiety, which I didn't know so many people suffered from it before, I must admit.
Yeah.
And it's so heartwarming that I can talk to them.
Yeah.
A lot of those,
because you can relate to them.
people, and a lot of those people are on Instagram, and I'm really thankful for the amount of people that are following me for my organising, but also the support that I'm getting.
Yeah.
With the anxiety, and yeah.
So right now, in this current state you're in, how do you feel you're coping with this whole situation now? Because now you've discussed it, you've brought it out into the open.
Yeah.
It's taken you quite some time to have this discussion. I'm not sure whether you've had this conversation away from this kind of platform, or you've spoken to your husband about it, or family members. But having come out today and expressed how you felt and how you're feeling, how do you feel you're coping right now?
Honestly, I'm actually more together than I thought I'd be.
Excellent.
Just because I'm talking honest, I'm speaking my truth, and I'd like everyone to. I'm ready for everyone to hear it, and if I can make a difference in some way to someone's life by me telling my story today, or if I can reach out to youth groups or anything, because I was in my early 20s when this happened, I want to make a difference in life, emotionally, to help other people that are going through anything like this. So this is my platform now to just speak out and just be myself and not hide it. When when someone asks me what's happened to my leg, I normally skim over it and I just had an accident.
Yeah.
And most people don't ask you what it was, so you just kind of skim over that. And then there's other people that I randomly then open up to.
Yeah.
And then I feel okay about this. It's within my mind whether I feel like
it's a release, isn't it?
Yeah, whether it's okay or not.
Yeah.
What spurred me to talk out, there was an incident that I'd like to touch on.
Please do.
That really touched me, and as I said, this was 2018. If Tanisha Melbourne Blake's mum is listening, then I'm really sorry for your loss, because I didn't know her. And I know a good friend of mine, Davina, worked really closely with her, and she was loved by a lot of people. And unfortunately, she passed away in Tottenham in April the 2nd, 2018, and she was just with her friends, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And when I heard about this, I remember at work, and I burst into tears, not knowing who she was, really.
Yeah, but still, you could relate.
I remember messaging my friend saying, I don't know why this has hit me, and I'd want to make a difference. I remember saying, can you give me some outlets that I can reach out to see if I can go and speak? I feel like I need to go and speak to...
You had your calling,
to some, and we're nearly like 2 years on now, and I'm sitting here today, but it's a process. And I wasn't just going to go, right, I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to run out and go to the first person that says they want to interview me, or and that's the thing, it didn't even work that way. It just came across, it was the right time for me.
Yeah, timing's everything.
Exactly. And if Tanisha's mum is listening, I'd love to meet you. I'd love to give you a hug. And any other parents that have been through any loss or their children have been injured by gun or knife crime, I'd love to help in any way possible. Even if it's me organising your house, I'd do it for free. It's devastating what's happening in this society, and it's all, as I said, it's not just me, it's happening daily.
Yeah, it is.
It's us as a community to come together and show awareness. There's lots of things we can do. We can't necessarily stop it, but there are ways that we can cope with it as a community. And that's why I'm telling my story today.
Okay. You expressed that you organise. You're a personal organiser. I'd like you to let's talk about something that put you in a happier place.
Yes. Okay.
You're Mrs. K Organise.
I am. So
go for it.
Mrs. K Organised was born last year. It was April 2018, but when I say it was born last year, the name was born last year. And I organised my home. So after I had the children, I was reading lots of books on self-help, kind of just getting myself back on track, I say. And when you have children, that's like your focus is them. So what really helped me was organising my home, and I discovered the KonMari method. I read both of her books and rereading the second book. So I've KonMari'd my house now, which is a way of organising your home, and I loved it. And I was like, well, I've done my house now. Like, who else can I
do? So, everyone else's.
Like, I went to friends and family. So, I did my nan, my mum, like my sisters, and I kept doing it. And everyone's like, you're really good at this. Maybe you should make it something. So, fast forward 2018, I set up an Instagram page. And I haven't touched on social media much because I actually wasn't on social media for a long time. After I got shot, I won't go into it too much, I didn't have any social media. So I opened up social media, and yeah, I had a lovely lady who contacted me on there. Her name is, well, they call her Kessie. She's Kessie Cushions, and she invited me to her home to organise. It was my first ever client, so I was nervous.
Yeah.
First ever client on Instagram, but she was amazing, and I just wanted to help her. And I won't go into much about her medical condition, but she does have a medical condition, and we spoke about what I could do to help her.
Okay.
And what I did that day was just reorganise her kitchen cupboards, just because I knew that the way they were at the moment, it wasn't helping her, and she couldn't reach them.
Okay.
Having like chronic back pain and etc. So I did that for her as a gift.
As a gift, yeah.
And then went back after that, and then we reorganised her bedroom, and we're still in touch now. She designed some beautiful cushions. If you've ever looked on Instagram, Kessie Cushions. I hope I said that right.
Check that out.
So yeah, and then I'm now fast forward 2020. I've had a few clients and still building the business. I'm still
excellent.
Still building. So,
yeah. So when you think about your business that you're doing now, do you feel that being a victim of gun crime, having that anxiety, having that OCD has taken you on that journey?
Yeah, I think I'm using it as a positive.
Excellent.
As I enjoy doing it, it helps me to relax. So if I can help someone else while I'm relaxing, it's like someone saying, I like to sit and watch TV. I'd rather sit and fold my laundry. Yeah. It's crazy to others, but it relaxes me.
Yes.
And I think you should do what you love in life. I don't believe in working and doing a job that you hate just because you need the money. I'd rather do this and earn less and be happy.
Indeed.
So that's just where I am at today. And I want to grow organically. It's not about trying to get as much followers and as much people. It's about building relationships.
Indeed.
Which is what you said there about me being a personal organiser. And before today, I probably would have said I'm a home organiser. Yeah. But I like that. I'm a personal organiser. I'm here to personally help you to overcome whatever it is in life, whether it's health conditions, whether it's trauma, whatever it is, to bring some organisation into their homes, into their lives.
So tell me, how can people connect with you if they need to borrow your services or want your advice?
So I'm on Instagram at the moment. So it's Mrs. K Organised. And that's it for the moment. I've just reached out to friends and family more, and that's my only social outlet at the moment. I'm building my website. I've got lots of things in the pipeline, but as I said, I'm taking my time, enjoying the process of it all. And if you are on Instagram, have a look on there. I'm doing my business cards as well at the moment, so I will be distributing those locally. If anyone's in need of folding services, I'm actually thinking of putting that in there. So just if you're interested, follow.
So the organisation is Mrs. K Organise. The organiser is Mrs. Keith. She's available on Instagram. I was going to say Facebook for a second, but she's available on Instagram. Obviously, if you want to connect with me to get through to Mrs. Keith, you can also contact me via iLive Radio, which is www.uk.iliveradio.com. Also, you can email myself, mandy@iliveradio.com. It's been a pleasure having you here today. It takes a lot to do what you've just displayed, to come out after such a long time and express your journey since having that incident, and to think that you want to help people along the way. I commend you. I have a lot of respect for you, and keep on doing what you do, because your heart is in the right place, and you've turned a negative thing into a positive. And we wish you all the best. Good night and God bless.
What if we spoke we spoke honestly? What if 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 we spoke honestly?